Hello everybody, my name is Isaiah, CEO here of Jubilee Homes in Southern Indiana, and I'm super excited to jump into our video today about where in the country should you put your tiny home. And so our mission is very simple. We want to help you get into home ownership by being able to own an affordable tiny home without the burden of some large mortgage, and help you create wealth by the appreciation of that asset, and ultimately help you invest in multiple rentals where you can have passive income for life and that complete financial freedom that helps you be able to spend time on what really matters. So I've come from a family who's been building homes for 42 years, and last year we've helped 30 families get into home ownership. So we're super excited about that, and we're looking forward to doing that for 100,000 families. So please join us as we jump into this video. Well, when you start thinking about where do you want to live in the United States, number one thing I think about first off is where is your family, where is your support group, where is your network at, that, as you get older and time goes on, it is really, really valuable to be around your family and your support group. I know it is for me anyway. I wouldn't consider moving too far away from my family just because I'm really involved with them. I don't know what your situation, I know everybody's situation is very different, but that's the first thing I would consider. So second thing I would consider is, like, if that's not really an issue to you, is where are you at in your life and what are you looking to do? So we're going to go through like the pros and cons that I see with living in a big city. So when it comes to tiny home ownership, obviously a bigger city is going to be harder to find land usually if you just want to own land. If you get into an ADU situation where you're an accessory dwelling unit to someone's existing property, that could work. But when you get into big high-density cities like Miami or New York or something like that, it is going to be harder. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's going to be harder to get a tiny home ownership than if you live in the suburbs or rural areas. So when you get into the suburbs, those can be great places to raise a family. You have decent network, and you can usually find sort of affordable spots to have your tiny home. So I highly recommend thinking about that when you're looking into this. Another thing is rural areas. I'm a huge fan of rural areas, especially if you have a remote job and you just want to be more of a homesteader. And also in rural areas, sometimes the rules are more lax for tiny homes, and because less people really care about the zoning and all that stuff. And you can actually own your land in rural areas and less people bother you. So the rural areas and counties are definitely growing since COVID. People are trying to get out of the cities and get into rural areas. And so, you're going to be able to buy 5-10 times the amount of land in a rural area than you are going to be in more of the city areas. So one issue you might have, one con you have in rural areas, is you're not going to have maybe city sewers, so you're going to have to look into septic, and which is doable, and we'll go through all that in later videos. So one thing I wanted to share with you guys is Forbes did a really interesting article when thinking about where to live in the country. So I'm going to show you that right now. It's called Best Cities to Move to in 2024, and the way they thought about it was a lot different than the way I would think through moving to a city. So you can see they ran data on a low housing cost, high employment rates, a decently high average incomes, even sunny days per year, which I thought was interesting, and obviously crime rate. School systems, that's another thing people look at. But this is a great article, interesting way to think about, hey, where should I move and how should I move to it? To me, the number one thing you want to consider is what type of people do you want to be around. Every area, every city is going to have a different style and different types of people you want to be around. Maybe you're professional and you have some sort of skill that might not be as valuable in a big city because there's a lot of people with that skill, but maybe when you get into a smaller city or that's still growing, you're more needed. So that's maybe one way you have to look at it. But overall, I think that this is a subject is very much an individual by individual basis. But what we're going to try to do is help you wherever you want to move to be able to get you into tiny home ownership. So I'm really excited to jump into our next video. But before you watch the next video, leave a comment down below and tell us where you want to move or where you want to put your tiny home. Okay, now that you've done that, let's jump into the next video. And the next video is going to be all about, okay, now that you've chosen wherever you want to live, maybe it's Raleigh, North Carolina, we're going to dig deep into that market with you, and it's a step-by-step episode where we can dig deep and figure out where to put the tiny home, how to get a piece of land to do that. So I'm really excited. I'll see you in the next video.